ship is run aground, and the captain is Captain Decatur. He is bad. I mean, he has got guts. 300 of them are on the ship, and he says, "Okay, boys, light it up." And they burn this warship, the Philadelphia, because they, run aground and they can't get it off. And they don't want the enemy to use it, so they went ahead and burned it. Awesome. So pirates are not going to use it against us. Okay, that's what they're going to do. So then that's when the Marines come in, and the Marines are going to march on Tripoli and kick butt. So I say, hoorah! Go Marines, baby, right there to the shores of Tripoli. Look at that. Marines, simplify. Now, I was Air Force, so that'd be aim high. And that's not even close yet. We haven't got to Kitty Hawk, which basically has an aircraft even flying. So that's going on. And here we go. Next section here, American neutrality is going to be challenged. Guess with who? Guess who is going to challenge us? You have one. One is going to be the British. And number two on the other side is going to be the French. So are you going to pick the British side or are you going to pick the French side? Because you can't pick both sides. You want to remain what? Neutral. And we try. We try to remain neutral again. And then, it's not our fault that the British can't get along with the French. They need to come together, show some brotherly love. But they got some deep roots, man. They have got some serious history. They just want to have it out. And we're always in the middle, just little guys. So in 1803, Britain and France are at war again. Hoorah. So American neutrality for now look, here we go. Neutral and trading with both countries. Why not? Why not? We can make money off of these guys. We've done it before. We need money off both. Show us some money. So we don't care. Okay, you're French. Oh yeah, we'll go ahead and trade. Oh, you're British. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and trade. You can't trade with both. It's not going to look too good. Because then they're going to look at you as an enemy because you are helping out the other side. And since they're looking at it, then the other side's going to say, oh, you're helping out the other side. So you get attacked by both sides because you didn't choose a side. Because you want to be on the right side. So here we go. Trade. Britain and France are looking for ways to hurt each other. And guess which way that would be? Our way. Yeah, they're coming at us, baby. So that's it. France. All they're doing again. Impressing soldiers, seizing them. They seize 500, baby. And there it is. Oh, man. Impressment again. 5,000 American sailors right there. They, as seamen, are actually detained. They're, all right, here it is. And then, the French get 5,000. But you know how many the British get? The British, let's see. The French get 500. And then the British double that number and they get 1,000. But we had the 5,000 out there. I don't know where that came from later on. So we start to really react kind of crazy to this. This is where Thomas Jefferson makes some bad choices. Okay? They got another log on the fire. Jefferson responds with an embargo, which you think it might be a good idea. An embargo is where you do what? Yeah, that's right. You don't buy, from either country. So that's an embargo. In just 1 year, though, this embargo is going to really hurt us. American exports fell, and this is no surprise since you're not trading with them. From $109 million, which was at the peak, and it goes all the way down to $25 million. I mean, we're chopping. That's 1/4. That's over 1/4. That you have left. So 3/4 is gone. 3/4. So that causes some huge problems. So in other words, price crops. What do they do? They fall. Okay. hunting. Basically, it's going to be hurting, not hunting, hurting the farmers and planters. Tens and thousands of Americans actually lose their jobs, so unemployment is through the roof, baby. So this is outrage, turning innocent Americans into smugglers because they got to be able to feed their family, so they start to smuggle. So Congress steps in. All right, TJ, no, man, we can't have this anymore. The people are turning to the dark side. All right, so they step in and they repealed, they took back that Embargo Act of 1809 just before Jefferson left office. Whew, thank God for that. All right, so yeah, this is his embargo right here. So we have an embargo slide that we can show you right there. So embargo, not good. Not good. Not good at all. Embargo. So that ain't going to work. Hurts us just really bad. Now we're going to get into some Native Americans. Tecumseh and his brother the prophet. So let's take a look at this. How does he even become a chief? The Shawnee people were hit really hard with disease, which, Native Americans always hit hard with these because they don't have an immune system. And who brings these? Yes, we do, all right, from Europe. And they also lose their hunting grounds because settlers are actually moving from the east to the west. And that's going to lose their hunting grounds because we're chopping trees down to make more homes and businesses. So we have it, and the power of the leaders goes down also. So they're not doing anything about it. So we got a leader who steps up, and his self-proclaimed chief is this guy named Tecumseh. He has great charisma, very charismatic kind of guy. He just kind of mesmerizes you. You'd be in a trance and be like, wow. So he sees the future of his people, and so he, the older elders, they're not basically stepping up because they lost all their power. So Tecumseh steps in, he organizes the tribes in the West, and into basically a league of Native Americans to restore Indian lands. So he's really getting them worked up. And his brother, the prophet, he's got one eye missing because he got into a hunting accident and put his eyeball out. He started to drink heavy until Tecumseh smacked him a couple of times and said, "Hey, bro, get your act together. All right? You are my brother." Okay? So either, put up or shut up. So, the prophet came forward and did what he had. Now, what does this get problems for? We get another gentleman that we should know in history. His name is William Henry Harrison. We got Harrison High School named after this guy. That's where my kids went to high school. And it's right in our backyard. Right near a battleground because it's the Battle of Tippecanoe in Tippecanoe County. So we got the Battle of Tippecanoe. This is with the prophet now, okay? Tecumseh's not there. So the prophet is, and along the Tippecanoe River, Harrison defeats the prophet pretty easily. Yeah, he beats him pretty fairly easy. Now Tecumseh, basically a brilliant Indian chief, warrior, and also an orator. He can talk very well. Is soon being fatally shot by a guy named Colonel Johnson. Now, that William Henry Harrison, and this is up towards Canada, up in that area, up north. And Colonel Johnson shoots him. It goes right through his heart. And the battle of what we call themes, battle of themes. You can actually see this battle of themes. If you go to basically, it's in the United States Capitol building. There's a rotunda, which is a really big like ceiling, dome, big ceiling, this dome, and it's a 360-degree look at this of 12 important historical events in American history, and this is on it. I mean, I went there. I was stunned. I was like, "Wow, check it out!" Tecumseh made it. He shows him laying down, and basically, this is like I said, it's Upper Canada during the War of 1812. Check it out. This is Tecumseh, self-proclaimed Shawnee Chief, and we'll try to show you here, take it far away, and then bring it up a little closer. Hopefully, you could see that. This is in the Rotunda there, showing him getting shot. And I believe it's on this side. Yeah, it's right there. That's Tecumseh. Tecumseh's right there, laying down, right there, being held while he got shot through the heart. No, I'm not going to go through the song on that one. This is the Rotunda, what it looks like. I wish I had these in color, but on my PowerPoint they are. So this is the Rotunda, and this shows you 12 events. Okay, going all the way around, and this is the ceiling part of the Rotunda and the Capitol building. Really cool and interesting building to go into. Very, very fascinating. So you need to go to Washington, D.C. on the trip, baby. All right, need another refreshment. Self-proclaimed William Henry Harrison. Talked about that. 12 significant events in American history in the Rotunda of the United States. Now let's go into the War of 1812. This is also could be called a couple other names like the Forgotten War, or this is the favorite one. It's actually our second battle for independence, and that's what you're going to hear a lot about the War of 1812 because it is against the British. Okay, and that's why we're going to go into the flag here. The War of 1812, right there. This is the War of 1812 kicks off. Now, War of 1812, we declare war on them in 1812, but the British aren't really concerned with us because they're still fighting the French. Now, they'll defeat the French in 1814 and then turn their entire attention and start looking at us. And that's not good. So they start to look at us. So we have like here, we got Clay, we got Calhoun, and these guys are just going nuts. And we call, they're going war, war, war. We need war. We want war against Britain for what they did. We call these guys war hawks. Because that's what all that they want is war hawks. I mean, they just want war, total war, and that's all they want. So there's I wrote a web page down here. It's a cool page to go to if you want to go to. It's called War. Now this is all one word. War of 1812 dot thinkport. That's THINKPORT .org slash, and then give me a number symbol and home .html. Check that out. I mean, that's some really cool stuff if you want to look up some interesting facts on the War of 1812. So what do they start doing to us on this War of 1812, the British? Yeah, you guessed it. This is one of their favorite tactics. Impressment again. Yeah, so they're going to start taking our sailors, our ships. That's not good. So that's going to cause problems with us. So they start to impress our sailors, and war's declared because that's an act of war. And then Britain sets up a blockade with 135 warships around us. And then we send out the guns, baby. We send out the old Constitution. It's the USS Constitution, a.k.a. also known as Ironsides, right here. And it's not the show either. This is Ironsides right there. She's blowing that other ship apart. So that's Ironsides, and this is the poor little British ship that it's destroying right there. They call her Ironsides because the cannonballs will just bounce right off of her, and that's hence the name, the USS Constitution. So that's Ironsides. The Constitutional Ironsides breaks through the blockade with that 135 ships, okay, and a new hull design. So they have a whole entire design of her. Another individual who comes on to play War of 1812 is Oliver Hazard Perry. Oliver Hazard Perry has a famous saying, "We have met the enemy." Yeah, they're right in front of you. "And they are ours." Oop, stop right there. Okay, so we have met the enemy, and they are ours. That's pretty gutsy to say, right? I'd be like, woof, I'm following this guy. Yeah, we have met our enemy, and they are ours. That is Oliver Hazard Perry. Oliver Hazard. What a nickname! What a middle name right there, Hazard. Yeah. Oof. So he's going to be going in and starting a fight there. So he goes in with that saying. Now the Americans on the ground on the troops here do something that I don't think they should have tried to do, what they did. And the Americans tried to invade Canada with an individual. His name is General William Hall. All right, he has 2,000 troops that are captured. Oops. Yeah, he surrendered. He retreated and didn't do a good job retreating, and he got caught. And this is a picture here of Hall there saying, "Oops." Yeah, so that's General William Hall there. He's going to surrender. 2,000 American ground troops are now prisoners to the British Crown. Not a good deal at all. Very, very bad. That's going to bring on Andrew Jackson. Okay, yeah, a.k.a. President Jackson, not yet. March 1812, he defeats the Creeks, which is a Native American group there at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. The Creeks lose millions of acres of land to him. And there's a book on that also, and I'm going to be defeating him. It says Andrew Jackson and his Indian Wars. All right, there he is right there. Okay, Jackson, right, defeats the Creeks, defeats the Native Americans. So he doesn't have any children of his own, but I believe there's about 11 children he'll adopt, and they're pretty much all Native Americans anyhow. A little ironic there. I'll go over that some more. There's an attack on Washington, D.C. from the British because we didn't have the army that we needed because pretty much Thomas Jefferson cutting the army back. So who's president at this time is Madison, and his wife Dolly does a really good job. So she quickly gathers everything that she can out of the White House, and it kind of shows it here. Dolly Madison packing up pretty quick. And this is the important photo right here of George Washington that she saves. She has it cut out of its frame, roll it up and bring it out. That's what she did. Matter of fact, the British soldiers arrived at the White House with dinner still warm, and it was all prepared. So they poured themselves some wine, and the British soldiers ate the wine. Drank the wine and ate the food. I mean, you can't eat wine, but. And then they don't know who set the order to do this. They started burning down important government buildings, but then somebody made a decision of the British Army to burn the White House. So, yeah, basically the British burned the White House down. That was never a good idea right there, but they're burning it down, so you could see that burning it down. That's not good. So they burned the White House down, and he actually that's the first individual there. Let's see, Madison is going to be the only president of the United States to be. Well, that was already one of the questions of the week, actually, in combat as president of the United States, and so we have another individuals here. Francis Scott Key comes on because they start shelling the fort here, and this is the flag that was flying, and they were gonna keep, these ships were gonna keep on bombarding this fort, and they said, okay, we could stop. There's a good little YouTube clip on this. We'll stop if only you lower your flag, and we didn't do it. So that right there is the flag, and you can see that this is at Washington D.C. There's lots of pieces missing, but just gotta remember how old this is. So that's the flag there, and that's in Washington D.C. That brings on an individual who is on one of the ships, Francis Scott Key, who's a lawyer. Francis Scott Key is on a British ship, and because he's there for one of his clients, and he starts to see what's going on, and he comes up with the Star-Spangled Banner, which is our national anthem. That's Francis Scott Key. So that's him right there. We finally reached peace in December of 1814, but January 15th of 1815, which is, not too far away. I mean, we're looking at maybe, one and a half months. So about 45 days later, what we got going on here is the Battle of New Orleans, which is Jackson's great victory. But it didn't even happen during the war. It happened after the peace treaty and after the war, so this battle shouldn't really taken place. But this is a kickoff to his notoriety and his skill as a commanding officer, and he's a hero. That's basically the Battle of New Orleans, and there's the Battle of New Orleans right there, and that's going to be him right there. That's going to be Jackson. Call him Old Hickory. What do we know about Hickory? Hickory is the hardest wood that they know of back then. That's why they called him Old Hickory. His childhood, we'll go over that. I mean, it's all screwed up. So we went over Francis Scott Key, went over that one, and we're just going to kind of show some other ones here. And this is Dolly Madison, making sure I have some good pics of this. So I might have put them too close to the camera. And then we have some outtakes for you later on. So that's the book right there we're talking about. Okay, of him defeating them. There's the Native Americans. Didn't come out too great. This is Hall with his oops. I can't believe I did that. He's got his hand over his mouth. Oh, I surrendered and I lost 2,000 troops. And this is Oliver Hazard Perry. Okay, yeah, we have met the enemy and they are ours. That is so awesome. What a guy. I'd follow him about anywhere. I mean, a guy like that. There it is, old Ironsides. That's the USS Constitution right there. That's the Constitution. Just crushing this British ship right there. Crushing them. So that's old Ironsides. Okay, all right. This is going to happen several times. We called it Impressment. You can see his hands are bound right there. Those his hands are bound. Those are his hands. Bound right there. He's all tied up. Impressment. And obviously this was the kickoff to the War of 1812 against the British in the United States. And here's that famous Rotunda, seeing it has the 12 most important events here that we think that affected American history. And that right there is going to show it as it's going around. That's the pictures of the Rotunda going around. Yeah. And again, that's going to be Tecumseh. You got Tecumseh right there. And this is him right here. Let me go over a little further. There he is. That's Tecumseh. He's been shot. Give me a close up there of Tecumseh. Yeah, there it is. That's him. So that's Shawnee Chief there. Tecumseh being shot. But that's on the Rotunda. You can see that. Remember Jefferson's embargoes. Not a good idea against France and the British because it really hurts us here at home. And it wasn't 5,000, but it was 500 and 1,000. So impressment again. So we're talking about these people being detained, or British vessels. Go Marines! Remember Tripoli. And here's Tripoli. Okay, this is the Marbury pirates. And individual that burns his own ship, Decatur, with the Philadelphia. That's it right there, Decatur. You can see the Philadelphia is on fire right there. That's the Philadelphia. Burn your own ship. Boy, that takes a lot of guts. You know, that kind of reminds me of Hernan Cortez doing that and saying, hey, there's no trip home, boys. No tribute. Remember, that's against the Marbury pirates. Because we're not going to pay any money. Sacagawea. Okay, there's Sacagawea again right there with her child. Basically, she was a teenager herself. Okay, young girl. And here's the air rifle that we were talking about. Technology. There's all kinds of technology that they use. Medicine with Lewis and Clark. All right, and here it is, Lewis and Clark. Right there, and with their dog. That's Lewis's dog. Interesting. Try to see how those two individuals turned out in their lives. One was successful and one was not afterwards. And this is the Louisiana Purchase also. This is a good book right here. Okay, it's The Great Gamble. The Great Gamble right there. Good book. You got to read that one. Okay, and again, that's all about the Louisiana Purchase right there. And there's Washington. And this is the Louisiana Purchase. And it's going to be all of this land right here. That's all of Louisiana Purchase. Okay, coming down. That's Louisiana. And now you need to go down to this part right here because that's important because that's Louisiana coming out down there. And this is the Mississippi River, which goes along this way. And that's going to be very important in Mississippi. Okay, so that's the Louisiana Purchase. And Marbury versus Madison. Again, this is even to figure out about judges. Okay, I don't know if I can get a real close-up of this one. There you go. So the foundation on which basically best government of the United States is the Constitution. So that's Marbury right here. This guy's Marbury. All right, and then obviously this is Thomas Jefferson, TJ, talking about that. Because he has that laissez-faire kind of, hands-off idea on government. That's his idea of government. Okay, here's another one we'll show you. And this is a quote there, a government big enough to give you everything that you want is strong enough to actually take everything away. Yeah, that you have. So you might not want that. Again, just for little giggles here, a little texting. I don't even know how to do this. Okay, when in the course of human events, it goes on to some weird stuff. And texting. All right, that's Jefferson Day, maybe. This is the election that we were talking about. Okay, here's your election. Remember, we got little John Adams down here at the bottom. TJ's up at the top right there, and this is going to be Burr. And he's got that pistol again because he's got a duel against Alexander Hamilton, who just can't shut his